This is the
Yeah,
problem, is that it
Yeah.
wasn't priced right at the beginning. So the
yeah,
loss is deeper than that because it's not just the 20% that you lost in your deposit
yeah,
and the cost, it's
yeah.
that plus the amount over the current value that it is, right?
Yeah. So what's going on right now, the buyer profile? So I mean, we don't have any foreign buyers right now. Are there investors right now in the market? Are investors buying any properties?
Yes. For
What
the
are they
Yes.
three
buying?
units I sold, I think two of them are actually investor buyers.
Hold on a second. From here,
Yeah. There's no
they're
foreign
from
buyers.
they're
Not
not
foreign
foreign
buyers.
buyers. They're from
Yeah.
here.
They are
Local.
somehow tied to Canada. They are PR citizen or working visa. They are not like someone just randomly come from another country because that's
Yeah. They
banned.
can't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but they're
Yeah.
buying it based on metrics that make sense as an investor,
Yes, yes. For example,
like money.
I
Yeah.
sold one condo unit. The seller is willing to compromise. The seller is willing to compromise on the price. His only goal is to sell it immediately because he's leaving the country.
Mhm.
So he sold the home for a price that's 130,000 less than the similar layout sold last year.
Mhm.
So that means the buyer who is an investor purchased that property for investment purpose at a big discount.
Big
Yep.
discount, but does it cash flow? Does it make money at the current
I
level?
think so. I think so.
Yeah.
It's a downtown unit, uh, new one without rent control, and it's being sold at 970 per square feet.
hmm Either way, though, he may not be looking for cash flow. He might be looking for
Well,
appreciation, right?
listen.
It's downtown condo.
So,
Yeah,
So he's an investor. So he's looking and he's getting equity on the buy,
yeah,
and he feels I'm happy with getting a little bit of a discount, which I get that.
yeah,
What about like your buyers, like people you're talking to and stuff like that? Like I'm still getting people who are just like unrealistic on cap rates. They want like 8%
yeah,
cap rate or
yeah, yeah.
something like that, or they're
I
looking
yeah.
for cash flowing properties in Toronto, which doesn't exist. So
Yeah,
are
I
those
think most of my buyers, they are both reasonable and unrealistic. They are
okay?
reasonable that they know the seller is not going to just give it away. They're not
Mhm.
going to lose 20% down payment and then give you another 10% so that you can buy it at a super discount. They are somehow realistic from that perspective. On the other side, they are also, I don't want to say greedy, but they're also optimistic on certain deals that they can get, which is still like 10%, 20% better than what the market is offering them. So I think the buyer, they are very picky at this moment.
Mm.
They are only buying when there's clearly, obviously a deal.
Yeah.
sure.
You mentioned that though about the deposit. I just had another friend of mine, a Chinese guy actually, and he's going back to China, and he said he's got a condo that's coming up for closing, and it's basically what my advice to him was, and it looks like he's probably going to lose his deposit if he's lucky and not get sued by the developer if he can assign it and just walk away from the 20% deposit.
Yeah.
What are you seeing like on the pre-construction side? Are you dealing with those clients coming to you now with those issues?
Yeah. So I'm very proud and lucky to say that I didn't sell any of the overpriced condo unit during the overheated condo pre-construction market. I did sell a lot of pre-construction unit, but most of the units I sold outperform the peers compared to other pre-construction units. But I do receive a lot of inquiries who bought a unit with another realtor and they don't want to deal with that realtor anymore. Those condos I saw, I think you really need to give up a lot of things before you can assign that.
Yeah.
I call it a standard package. A standard package is that the seller pays give up 20% down payment plus 4 to 7% marketing cost, like the agency fee.
Yeah.
Basically, if you buy a home at 600, you probably have to sell it at 500K so that it can be sold.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have to pay closing costs and legal fees and everything, probably for
Yes,
everybody,
yes.
right?
So that's what I call a standard package
Yeah.
for assignment to be sold, 20% plus the cost. So it's going to be like 25%, 28% loose for
Yeah.
the original seller.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, unless you can close it, manage it, lose 1,000 or 2,000 bucks a month for like
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
But this is
You know,
assuming that it was priced right at the beginning, right? So
It's
now
not priced right at the beginning.
this is the
Yeah.
problem, is that it
yeah,
wasn't priced right at the beginning. So the
Yeah.
loss is deeper than that, because it's not just the 20% that you lost in your deposit
Yeah.
and the costs, it's
Yeah.
that plus the amount over the current value that it is, right?
yeah. There's lots of
Yeah.
those too. Yeah.
Big,
But
big.
Norman's saying this is the standard one. This
That's
is
If
a
you
no,
want to
he's saying
assign
that's the
any
standard
overpriced
deal.
condo,
yeah, exactly. That's not even the overpriced ones. That's just like
Right.
your standard. Like you want to assign, okay, you give up your 20% and you pay an extra five
Well,
percent
what's not
in fees.
overpriced? What
But
what deals are going, like, what deals are people not able to close on that weren't overpriced? Like, there must be some that are coming up now that were sold at reasonable levels, right? That were probably
I don't
cheap.
know of any because we're back to 2018 prices. So it would have had to have been like 2016 or 17 that they bought, and those have all been completed.
I've seen
Jesus.
several deals that the buyer, original purchaser of pre-construct unit, they bought at a very good price, like $700, $800 in square one. I think that's
Yeah.
a good price. The reason they have to assign that unit is because they used to be qualified for mortgage, but they are
Oh.
not smart enough to do the mortgage when they purchased it.
Mhm.
Now they don't qualify for that mortgage anymore, and they don't have the remaining money to close it.
Mhm.
For some cases like that, I think they are losing 5 to 10% because their unit is already very attractive. Maybe they can give 10K, 20K as an incentive in terms of the price, but they still need to pay the agency fee.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so there's probably some examples out there.